Hello, and today we're going to talk about the case for an EV. The video playing on screen here is actually a NASA footage of the CO2 in the atmosphere, and as you can see, the high density red stuff is not good, so we really need to reduce CO2. Now when we're talking about an EV versus a gasoline car, a rather shocking fact was that a gallon of gasoline requires 6 kilowatt hours of electricity to process. So to take crude oil and end up with petrol you can put in your car, that's 6 kilowatts. Now even at just 3 kilowatts a mile, that means already electric cars have an 18 miles range advantage. But then you've got to go out, get that oil, transport the oil, process the oil, package the oil, ship it to where it can be in a fuel pump, etc, etc. So petrol is really dirty. Now the cost of assembling a car is also really dirty, whether it's an electric or gas one. Let's say they're the same. But there's other reports as well. For example, Tesla did a report back in 2006 that showed that a Civic that did around 51 miles per gallon averaged out at about 0.52 kilometers per megajoules of energy and outputted about 166 grams of CO2 per kilometer. A Tesla Roadster did 2.18 kilometers per megajoules and outputted about 46 grams per kilometer, so much greener, much more efficient. And just out of interest, a modern Tesla, I believe, puts out much better efficiencies and roughly is equivalent to about 337 miles per gallon. So I think the case is definitely there for electric vehicles being greener than petrol ones. Now there is a debate whether or not we'd be better off converting old cars to electricity rather than extracting resources from the earth to build new cars. That's a slightly different argument, but there's definitely a case for that. Now to make cars even greener, we recently had in May 2019 the UK have 1 week of no electricity from coal. In fact, I believe it was 11% wind, 6% solar, 1% hydro, 6% biomass and 21% nuclear. So if we can move to greener, more renewable energy generation, the case for electric vehicles gets even stronger. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm very concerned about diesel particulates, CO2 in the atmosphere, the recent climate crisis and all that sort of stuff. So there's definitely an issue with the earth, and if you've watched any of the David Attenborough stuff that's on Netflix or the BBC, it's quite terrifying what we're doing to the earth. And we've known about a lot of these problems since the 70s, and yet we've done nothing because oil is in place, it's easy, but it's time to make a change.